You want to take it step by step? The first claim is that it's a sphere with a radius of oblate spheroid with a radius of 3,959 miles. Would you like to enlighten us how that was established and proven?
I don't know. I'm not a geologist. I don't know how they measure that.
Okay.
I would assume probably using trigonometric methods by measuring an aspect of the Earth and then utilizing mathematics to extrapolate that to the entire sphere, which could be done. I'm also not a, geometrician, I think they're called, so I couldn't tell you how to do that either.
Okay. Well, you did just say that you know it's been proven. And so what you've immediately admitted is that you actually do not know that it's been proven because you're not even aware of
I do, though. The fact that I don't know the mathematical methods through which it was proved doesn't mean that those methods haven't been used to prove it.
Well, how can you know something if you don't know it?
I don't know what that means.
Well, how can you claim to know something as a fact if you don't even know what it is you're claiming as fact?
I do know what it is I'm claiming as fact, that the Earth is a sphere.
How was the radius verified?
I don't know. If you wanted to know that, my question would be, why haven't you asked a geologist?
I have debated people that do it for a living.
Did you ask them that question?
Yes.
Did they answer it? I'm sure they answered it. What was the answer that they gave?
They tried to invoke geodetic surveying.
Geodesic surveying?
Geodetic.
I don't think I know what geodetic is. I know what a geodesic is. I don't know what geodetic means, though.
Okay. So we physically measured the surface of the Earth and falsified the claimed radius. So unless you can provide evidence, it doesn't curve at the rate it would have to if it's a sphere.
How do you know that?
For example, I showed you the observation of the black swan, right? So if the Earth has a sphere of a radius of 3,959 miles, then that means that the Earth's geometric horizon or curvature should be no further than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Just basic geometry, right? And you can Google it. This is on Earth Curve Calculator. This is not flat Earth math. This is testing the globe claim, right? And so that means at 1 foot off the Earth, you should see the curvature of the Earth at 1.2 miles. Yeah, we have an observation 1 foot off the surface of the Earth and the horizon's over 10 miles. That would require the radius be over 250,000 miles, but they claimed it's under 4,000, so we have a problem here.
Yeah, I don't really know anything about that. I just Googled it in like 10 seconds. I found out how we know what both the circumference and the radius and the diameter of the Earth is. And it's exactly what I said. You use trigonometric methods to measure curvature over a particular area of the Earth. You could say maybe even over 100 miles, and then you can use that to calculate what the whole diameter of that circle would be. If you have part of the circle and you know the angle at which it's curving, then you can essentially piece together what the size of the entire circle would be.
So you're saying if you know the angle at which it's curving, you can determine the radius value, but the way that you know that curvature rate is the radius value. So that would be.
I don't know what that means. We know it by looking at differences in the angle of the sun. I mean, this was calculated thousands of years ago because this kind of math has been around for thousands of years. Humans have been doing this for thousands of years. We are not in rocket appliances right now. This is very, very simple stuff.
But I would pump the brakes on all the arrogance, right? Because you just admitted to the whole audience you didn't know the
What do you
method.
mean by arrogance? I'm just stating things that are true. Like, we've known this for thousands of years. These methods humans have been using for thousands of years.
Okay, so you're talking about Eratosthenes?
Eratosthenes?
Yeah, that's who you're talking about.
Yes, I believe he was the first one that calculated it. Now, if you want to dispute that whether the person who actually ultimately is the actual human that did it, whether his name is Eratosthenes, is irrelevant. The math checks out. Do you have an argument against the math?
Yeah, sure. I was trying to get there, right? So my preface was that actually there's no primary documentation, but we'll just assume it is real anyway. But you had to interrupt me. So if we assume it's real, do you know that he had to assume the sun was distant with parallel rays?
Well, of course it's distant with parallel rays. That's how light works.
Light works that the sun is distant. That's the only way light could work?
No, light moves in straight lines.
Okay, so is there anything such thing as divergent rays? Is that a real thing?
Divergent rays? Yeah, there are ways to do that, yeah.
Okay, so that's not how light works.
The electromagnetic radiation? Yes, it propagates orthonormally, I believe, if it's not interacting with a form of medium. Yes.
It actually propagates in a transverse movement, wave.
Or do you not know what orthonormal means?
Orthonormal? No, you enlighten me.
Orthonormal. One oscillates this way, one oscillates this way. They're orthogonal or at 90 degrees to one another, and normalized of unit length. So they're normal. Ortho, normal.
Is it transverse? Yes or no?
Oh, Lord have mercy.
So you don't. Okay, so the propagation.
So the concept of orthonormality would subsume the concept of transverse.
Right. Okay. So can you provide evidence that the sun is 93 million miles away, or is it just a claim?
We can measure that.
Okay. So did he measure the sun was 93 million miles away?
Actually, I do not know that. I have no idea whether, he measured the distance to the sun or not.
Right. Well, he needed that assumption to deduce the calculations. And did you know he didn't even claim it was anywhere close to 93 million? He claimed something more like 3 million. Did you know that?
I don't know if anything that you're saying is true or false, because I haven't read anything about what Eratosthenes did in terms of calculating distances from the Earth to the sun.
Well, this is your claim, though. You claimed he proved the Earth was a sphere with a circumference value.
I claimed that he used simple mathematics to determine what the circumference of the Earth is. Yes, assuming and we know that he did that. Yes,
it works the same if the sun's local on a flat surface. He assumed a distant sun with parallel rays and assumed a spherical surface.
Yeah, but those are facts, which is why he assumed them.
Okay.
The sun is distant, and the electromagnetic radiation propagates orthonormally unless it's interacting with a medium.
So your proof of the Earth's measurement is that he assumed the Earth is a sphere, and you can use that assumption to prove that the Earth's a sphere.
If the Earth weren't a sphere, unless you're arguing that there is geometric curvature to it, even though it's not like a sphere, then fine. But that wouldn't be flat. There is geometric curvature on the Earth.
Okay, that's
he figured that out just from walking from two cities. Yeah, that was the claim. Well, actually, that's not the claim. That was the observation. He determined that there is curvature on the surface of the Earth because these things that we see in reality happening.
But did you know that if the surface was flat and the sun was more local, you would get the same results?
How so?
Because the divergent rays would create shadows relative to the angle of the local light.
What do you mean by divergent rays?
They converge to the point of light, the source of light, which is the sun. So
isn't that how all lights work?
Okay, so, well, you just a second ago they're all parallel. So anyway,
yeah, they travel at straight lines outward from the source in all directions. Like that's kind of how field mechanics works.
Well, the globe Earth kind of doesn't claim that any of the sun's rays on Earth is divergent. They claim they're parallel.
I don't know what you mean. They're parallel in terms of them coming from the sun. The light just moves in straight lines through space.
Right. Yeah. Right. So if
it's divergent in the sense that all those straight lines would diverge back onto the sun, the point of origin.
But the globe Earth model has just a small portion of the light of the sun hitting the Earth, and they're all parallel. If the Earth is smaller, or if the sun's more local, then it has divergent rays locally on the Earth. It's a fundamental difference.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, so you have no. First of all, that wasn't even claimed.
Optics isn't this hard. Actually, optics is a pretty difficult field. It's boring too.
Do you agree or disagree that if the Earth was flat and the sun was local, you'd get the same results?
If you had like a sort of a flat disk Earth and a little ball up here with the light would just be covering the whole surface, so you wouldn't have nighttime. So no, I don't think that would work.
Okay, well that's called a straw man fallacy, my man.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
What did I straw man?
Yeah, you just straw man a model of the Earth, saying that if the Earth's a disk with a ball above it, then it'd cover up the whole disk. That is just an unfounded claim that no one on this side has ever made. There's something called the attenuation of light. There's something called the attenuation of light.
Sure.
So why would the light go forever if it's a small local light source with attenuation?
What do you mean? Why would the light go forever?
You just claimed to cover the whole Earth. Why would it cover the whole Earth if it's a small local light source with attenuation?
Because attenuation happens when electromagnetic radiation interacts with matter. So
correct.
You wouldn't expect that to happen until it struck the Earth.
Wait, is there not matter in the atmosphere?
Not very much, no.
Oh, so there's not an absorption rate of air when it comes to light? There's not an absorption rate of light?
A very small one. It's more, I think, of a refractive index, but...
Okay, so there's an attenuation rate in the air.
A very